I just want to make sure it went live.
Huh?
I want to make sure it went live.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is.
Does it tell us when people join on here?
We've got 8 people watching. Yeah, there's a. You've got a number. You probably can't see
Oh
it.
yeah, I see that.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably should have typed it. Yep, I probably should have typed that. So I could have done that. Huh?
What's that?
So I should have typed that out.
Typed it?
Or you, I mean, you did. Welcome, we're going to start.
Oh, yeah. We're good. Who's on right now?
Oh, we got 8 people.
Alright.
11 people. I don't know
Wow.
if it tells us who.
Hey, everybody, it's on there.
Trish is on.
Trish is on?
Trish is there.
Hey, Trish. Trish, you're supposed to be leading this tonight. What are you doing? I'm just sitting and covering for you. Come on, bud.
Damaris.
Hey, Damaris. How you doing?
Linda
Oh, there's the
Shaw.
comments. I can see them.
Can you see him?
What's up?
Can you see
What's
him,
up,
Brian?
Linda? Yeah, I can
Hi,
actually.
Damaris. Hi, Linda.
Hey,
Thanks
Linda.
for joining us.
Linda, is your family feeling better? You guys were out with colds for the last week. Hey, Allison. Welcome. I have exquisite young person eyesight. These big, thick glasses. Laura Beretta. Hello.
Hello.
That's your wife.
Your wife?
Your wife says to pick up some groceries on the way home and get some toilet paper.
I don't know if I'll be able to find any.
All the way from Florida, there's Shelly Nauman. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm so excited. I don't think you need this. Can I have some of these while we're waiting?
Yeah.
All right. I got my table topics here. While we're just giving people a little bit more time to jump in, we're going to ask a couple questions. If you want to answer these, you can, but me and Brady are going to go back and forth. And who you can't see, Amanda's right over here running the comments and helping us out. So, all right. What was the favorite vehicle that your family has ever owned?
Astro van
Oh, wow.
with a TV in it
One of the big tube ones?
and a VCR.
Oh, yeah. How better to watch those Christian cartoon movies. What were they called? Family.
Adventures in Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
We didn't watch that. We watched more Wizard of Oz.
Oh, witches? I
Yeah.
don't think so. We're a good Christian family. What's wrong with you?
I
Mine.
had the pilot seats.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we never had that. We had this Jeep Cherokee that the back seat flipped down so we could lay down on it. But then my dad wasn't very mechanical at the time. He didn't know he had to change the oil. And so it slowly just ran out of oil and just the engine caught on fire. And
You have to change the oil in your cars because I hope my car doesn't catch on fire when I drive home tonight.
Don't worry. All right, let's do one more before we start. Does that sound okay?
Trish said Dodge Daytona with T-top.
Dodge Daytona
T-top?
with T-top.
Sounds cool.
Oh, that does sound cool. Cruising. Hey, Darlene, I see you. Dodge Daytona. No, that one's too serious. That one's too serious. Wow, that's for sure too serious. Tattoos? Can't talk about that. Nope. Okay, this one, no matter what it is, we're going to do it. What was your favorite childhood meal? Amanda, what was yours?
Childhood. Chicken and noodles.
Oh,
Can't go with that.
that's pretty southern.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say something similar. Chicken and dumplings.
Chicken and dumplings.
With the you drop biscuit dough into the water, and they create dumplings.
It's homemade stuff.
Okay.
Southern food.
Mine was white rice and Vietnamese marinated pork steak. My dad would make that on special occasions. That was awesome. That was the best.
Now dessert's a whole other category.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't. Favorite dessert? Just mint chocolate chip ice cream. We'd eat that by a quart in my
That's
family.
Well, enough about food. This isn't the food cast. This is Wednesday Night Live.
Mhm.
And so, hey, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I'm Braden,
I'm Josh.
and we are currently at Church on the Rock
Yep.
in my office where the magic happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to give people just a couple more minutes to join in and so that they can be a part of it. But we just really want this time to be a time where we can all interact together. And so we'd love for you to just be active in the comments section. That way we can go back and forth, and you guys can go back and forth with each other and just have a time where even though we're not together here at the church, we can be together kind of over the internet and hear from one another. So, Josh?
Yeah. Yeah, I know people are getting stir crazy a little bit. Like my own family is getting a little stir crazy. I was thinking about this just while we were getting prepared today, like why we should do something like this, why would it be important while we're all stuck at home. But so yesterday, we had the windows open because it was kind of a nice day, and my kids, I just have their faces pressed against the screen, and they're just, I would say heckling would probably be a good word to describe it, but they're just yelling at random strangers like, "Hey, you with the dog! Hey, look at me!" And they're just like they're starving for attention. Like even my kids are. Nora somehow turned the social bot feature on Alexa, and so she's having like full length conversations with Alexa.
Okay.
Amy said that she asked Alexa literally 20 times what time it was, and Alexa at first was like, "Hey, it's 11 o'clock in the morning and it's really sunny outside." And then she said by the end she was just going, "It's 11 o'clock," and she literally got sassy. Like, so Alexa was broken by the toddler's questions. But that's why, I don't know, I think we're getting a little bit stir crazy, just even being stuck inside for the last 4 or 5 days, and just this is just a way to interact and connect. And small groups are postponed, so it's just a good time. So I really just, like Braden said, comment tonight, just share, like what other people, if you are feeling what other people are feeling, just like what they're saying, and just a way to connect and be a little creative, be a little different, as everything's just a little different right now.
Yeah, it sounds like your kids might be on the path to becoming Jedis. Luke Skywalker met C-3PO talking to a robot. You can maybe create like a little C-3PO out of cardboard box, put Alexa inside there. There you go.
That's true. I like it.
Hey, also just wanted to let you know that Facebook can notify your phone anytime we go live on our page. All you have to do is go to our page and set the notifications for that. And you may have seen yesterday we posted something live. And tonight we're live. And then next week we'll be live too. So if you just want to make it mindless, Facebook can remember that for you.
Right.
So.
Right. Hey everybody. It's good to see you guys. I can't see who's there, but it's good to see everybody that's there.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah, so
there it goes.
who's
The
here?
whole Zalud family is here.
Salutes.
Even Malachi. Is Malachi watching? Tell Malachi I love him. He'll know. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Ames says hi, Daddy.
hi, Ames. I hope you're staying out of trouble. Don't hurt your sister. All right. Well, we want to just make this time, light and fun, and then we are going to get into just a devotional to kind of
Yeah.
just explore what the Bible teaches us about what's going on right now. And so we're going to get into that, and then we're going to pray together. But first, we just want to just break the ice and just kind of get used to actually being on a camera. It's not something that we have done a whole lot in our positions here at the church, and so it's new territory, and so we're learning. But yeah, we just want to keep it light and keep it fun. So we're gonna play a little game, and we named it "I Feel You." I feel you. So we're going to try and go from the letter A through the letter Z with emotions that we or someone that we know has probably felt this past week. And we might get stuck. We will get stuck. And so you help us out in the comments. Post an emotion that would match the letter we're on, or even just how you're feeling. And if you see an emotion there in the comments that you like, hit like or comment and let them know that you're in the same boat. Now, for clarity on Instagram, if you comment on Instagram, we're not moderating those comments, right?
No.
So you're on your own. You're out in the wild on Instagram, but we are engaged on Facebook.
Yeah.
All
Switch
right.
over.
All right, so I'll let Josh go first with the letter A.
Okay, we'll start with a real positive note. Aggravated.
Aggravated.
If you felt that.
There was a game I used to play called Aggravation, I think. Maybe not.
That's why I called playtime with my siblings.
B, I have felt bored.
Really? That's good.
Or have I? No.
I have not felt that the last 4 or 5 days.
Felt.
Not at all. I wish I felt bored.
Okay, moving on.
We'll go with bored.
We'll go with bored. I'm sure someone's felt bored.
Confused. I've been confused.
Anybody have one for D?
Lifeline. Concerned. Damaris. Okay, I see you.
What about dread? So somebody's probably felt dread. I'm sure.
Good.
Dread. I'll go with dread.
Double points if you can think of a word that's positive for E.
For E, excited.
Oh man, I actually am excited.
Yeah,
I have felt excited.
Hey, if you can work from home, maybe that excites you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got D coming in.
Downhearted.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All of you need to stick around
devastated.
for the devotional, okay? We're gonna get to all of this. We're gonna get to this. Stick around. All you sad people. I feel you, okay?
Oh, here's one for D. Dun dun dun.
That's an emotion.
Ecstatic.
Ecstatic? Got all the boys at home? Yeah, Jackie. Elated. Delighted. Trish Moss coming with a good one. Delighted? That's good. Trish, you should post why. I would like to know
Well,
that.
we all know the F. People have felt fearful. I mean,
That's
we know that
very
one.
true. Yeah.
But
We're going to hit that
anything
one.
else on F?
I'm really bad at these kinds of games, honestly. I always lose at these kind of games.
How about free from going to restaurants because you can't.
Yeah.
You have to get the food and take it home.
I
So
don't think that's a feeling.
a little bit.
Faithful.
Faithful.
G.
Yeah, I felt that.
G, grateful.
I have been grateful.
I felt grateful.
Mm-hmm. Even just the increased amount of family time, even any of you feeling me where it's a little bit kind of, I mean, sometimes it just gets a little much, but it also has been really good, just like extended family time, you know?
Yeah, and though we've been very busy around here, it does seem like the world has slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
and I'm kind of grateful for that.
Mm.
I think things move at such a pace that it's been nice to see things slow down just a little bit, even though the circumstances aren't great.
Mhm.
Behind it, at least we can be grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. What letter are we on?
We are on
H.
H.
H. Okay. I felt hungry the last couple of days because I forgot to bring lunch the last 3 days to work. So I've been eating whatever I can find around the church. So all the Easter candy's gone. All the creamer's gone.
I think this is your word, but I think it was Monday. Just after, or maybe it was Tuesday. Just having the kids for so much. Yeah, the family time's great, but it also wears you out, and I felt haggardly by
You
the end of
look
that
haggardly.
day. So
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Helpful.
Helpful. That's wow. That's cool. Hopeful. Good. I like to see that. That's awesome. Praise God for the hopeful people. I
inspired.
inspired.
I've heard some stories of people who have been in action, who have been helping their communities. Heard of a pizza place in Sycamore giving out pizzas to the elderly who don't have food,
That's cool.
delivering them for free.
Wow. Wow.
And that inspires me
Yeah.
to that it's just people are stepping up and showing love.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think we're gonna make it to Z?
I'm feeling burnt out now. I'll be honest, I'm tapping out.
Does anybody have one for Z? Because we were worried about Z.
Bonus round, skip to Z. The only words I think of when I think of Z are like not really words like zoopity doop doop. Like that's not a word.
Or like zigzaggy.
That don't think
Because
that's a
like
feeling
your
either.
mind is zigzagging so much because you can't process all the changes. So
That's good. I think we made it to I. You know,
We made it to I.
that was farther than I thought we were gonna get. I thought we were done at D, so that's good.
Zealous.
hey, thanks.
Zealous?
Oh,
wow! Look at you,
Yeah.
Jackie, coming in clutch with the zealous.
yeah, there you go. I did not think of that one.
That's awesome.
Hey, thanks guys for helping us out in the comments. Continue to keep
Yeah.
them coming. We're gonna move on to something else that we prepared, and we want to get your feedback on this as well. So this is what we're calling our quarantine survival guide, and we just want to share our top 5 things that have been helping us through this quarantine time so far. So while we list ours, you go ahead and list yours in the comments. We want to hear from you. We want to see what you've been doing and what you have to say. And so the first thing that we're going to hit, and this is for those of you who have kids or who watch kids or something like that. But the top thing to do with kids. So Josh, what's your top thing that you've been doing with kids during the quarantine?
Okay, the top one I have right now for the last 4 or 5 days is the obvious, which is just create a fort. Okay, you have to create the most awesome fort you can. Okay,
We did a fort.
They did a fort. We've done one at least. Have you guys done one yet?
Not yet.
No, you guys did a leprechaun hunt.
We did a leprechaun.
Leprechaun hunt, right? But I mean, the best fort that you can think of: move the furniture, pull the blankets off the beds, like just install electrical boxes in there, like make it awesome.
Yeah.
But while you're doing that, if you can do this at the same time, it makes it even better. Dance party, okay? Just blast music. But what we did was we went back to our high school playlist. And so we listened through all like the bands and stuff we listened to in high school. So for me, that was like Blink-182, Black Eyed Peas, Relient K, Switchfoot. It was like stuff like that. Okay, Amy was all old rock or rap. That was her genres. I don't know. It's like the Styx or Kanye. I don't know. But like that's what we were doing, and it's like kind of fun to like just remember all those things. And our kids have never heard that because we don't listen to that music anymore. So, no, that's mine.
Sure.
What's yours?
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe doing it for like over the bathtub and filling the bathtub with slime. So like a slime fort. Like, how could it be any better for
If
a
your
child?
wife, if you
Kids
get your
love
wife
forts,
on board
kids
to
love
do that,
slime. I think that's great.
okay.
So recently I got on Amazon and I got my son the Little Golden Books version of Jurassic Park.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a favorite of mine. And so when we're reading it to him, we decided to put on the soundtrack to Jurassic Park. You know, da na 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 na, and really add that atmosphere to the story. And so I think making your books more interactive. So
Okay.
like choosing a book, pairing it with a soundtrack, or choosing a book. Maybe the book's about food, and then actually eating that food or making that food, or maybe
How does that relate with Jurassic Park?
My wife read my son Corduroy, and they made a
Oh.
corduroy
Oh, okay,
out of
that's cool.
construction paper.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Very
just
cool.
jazzing up books a little bit because, hey, sometimes they need to be jazzed
Mhm.
up.
Yeah, I like that. That's good, man.
You guys have anything that you've been doing with your kids?
Shauna says lunch and dinner together, board
Mm.
games, cleaning together,
Yeah,
Board games,
there's
come
lots
on.
of chores to do.
Call of Duty.
Yes. Okay.
Unfortunately, my children aren't old enough to do chores, or this would be a great time to do some of that spring cleaning that's they've been putting off. Just put them to work someday. What else?
Caitlin's just feeding on the Jurassic Park.
He got a little scared. I'll be honest. He got a little scared, but hey,
Mom,
He can
why is
handle-
the dinosaur eating that
can
person?
he can handle it.
Scary.
All right. So next thing is our top snack that we've been munching on for the
Mhm.
quarantine. Obviously, you have to find it at the grocery store first if you want to enjoy it. But for me, this one is jalapeno and lime Ruffles chips. They're like new, I think, and if you're looking for them, there's a basketball player on the front because apparently this is like the brainchild of a basketball player. He thought of these chips, and boy, am I glad that he did, because these chips taste like fresh jalapeno pepper right at the front, and then they're tangy in the back of your throat.
Okay.
They're a little bit spicy. My 3-year-old could eat them. My wife could not. So go
Okay.
figure that. But if you like spicy, if you like crunchy, if you like salty, and if you like sour, I mean, what other flavor could you ask for?
Right.
These are a great chip.
That's awesome.
What about you, Josh?
Mine's just Gouda cheese and rosemary gluten-free crackers. Okay, so a little hot tip: like I went to Aldi last week for groceries, and like everything's gone, but the gluten-free little aisle cap there was completely stocked. Everybody, even in the crisis and hoarding, nobody wants to buy gluten-free food. So the crackers are there, but the Gouda cheese and
Yeah, I mean,
crackers,
I
man, it's
understand
good.
that.
It's
I mean, I'd rather eat nothing than eat gluten free. So mean, I think we can all agree.
Caitlin says
yeah.
like garbage chips. Shelly gluten-free white cheddar Cheetos.
Ooh, I dig it. I like it. Mm-hmm.
I like Cheetos. I'm not sure about the gluten free part, but you know, I would try it.
Yeah.
I would try it.
When my wife or kids aren't looking, I just uncap the Sunday chocolate syrup. I just take a big spoonful of that. So if they're not looking, I'll sneak one of those in every now and again. Protein, I'm sure, or something, right?
Trisha says Pop Tarts, Ruffles.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
all the
Oh,
good
she said
things.
those are hers. The kids get vegetables.
Yeah, I can understand that. The
yeah,
secret
I
stash.
could go for a chocolate Pop Tart. Yeah. I've also had time to make cappuccinos in the morning.
Mm.
You know, things have slowed down a little bit, so I can actually use my coffee maker to make a cappuccino. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, what about... Are there any more comments?
Ames like
Yeah, Ames likes Cheetos.
Noble is listening and he's shocked.
Amy, don't let him hear this. Oh my gosh. Jill Oliver, that's a big one. I can't read it from here though.
Oh no, she's not doing snacks. She's just
Oh,
saying,
okay.
The next thing we want to talk about is our top movie recommendation. I'm sure there's a little bit of time in these longer days to turn on the TV with the family and kind of binge or veg out. So you start us off
You want
on
me to do
this.
it? Okay.
You start us off on this one.
All right, so this is geared a little younger, okay? But Disney's in my mind. I'm thinking Disney Vault movies that we haven't seen in a long time. Okay, so this movie I think came out when my brother was born. I think so 2000, but Tarzan. Okay, probably my second favorite Disney movie ever, Tarzan. So breaking that Disney vault, watch Tarzan. But if you have younger kids, Tarzan can be a little scary. There's
It's a
this
little scary.
big old leopard that there's all the normal sad stuff in
a little
Disney
scary.
movies. But Aristocats, okay, I'm telling you, it's old, but it stands up. You'll be singing "I Want to Be a Cat" in your head all day for the next couple weeks. Your kids will love it. We watched it like 2 weeks ago, and we all loved it. So those are my two: Aristocats and Tarzan.
Nice.
Yeah,
My
it's
son
nice.
loves Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
He always wants to watch it, and he wants to read it, and he wants to listen to the Phil Collins songs.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a
Oh,
good
God.
soundtrack. I should have had
It
that.
is. I could have
If
a
you've
worse.
never listened to
could
that,
have a worse
you need to go
soundtrack
listen
for
to
sure.
Tarzan soundtrack.
Yeah. There's some really moving songs on there for sure.
Sam Zinkel says Endgame.
Endgame. Okay.
Oh, there was superhero.
Sam Zinkel. What's up, bud?
Superheroes. Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For this one, I have to say, surprisingly, the live action Aladdin. Went into it expecting not to like it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of all these live action remakes. But put it on in the afternoon and just watch it, and it hooked me,
Okay.
and especially Will Smith as the genie.
That's what's
Like-
holding me up.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
I don't know.
Right when you first see him, it's like a little bit jarring. You just have to like reorient yourself, and then after you get past that, he's hilarious. It's a great time. It's a great movie. I think everybody in the family can enjoy it. The changes to the songs are really good. They kind of updated the songs and made them more
Great.
modern, and it's just great. It's a
Okay.
great time. Get some popcorn, get some M&Ms, and
If
Check
you,
it- check
if
it
you're
out.
saying it, I'll try it. But ever since I tried the Jungle Book live action one, and they have that guy like, "Hey, you guys," really bad, but he starts with a W. He's the monkey. Who's that guy? Christopher Walken.
yeah.
Yeah, you could tell from that impression, right? But he sings that one song in there,
Sure.
and it just has wrecked it. So, but if you're saying, I'll check it out.
There's one song in Aladdin that it just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
So, but hey, if that's all,
All right.
it was good.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll check it out.
Next thing, do we have any comments?
Oh,
Seth Dominguez?
Aristocats. People are all over that one or whatever.
Yes, my people.
Mary Poppins.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary Poppins, classic.
The new one or the old one?
Either.
I've heard the new one's fantastic. Wait, is there a new one?
Yeah. Mary
Yeah.
Poppins returns.
That's.
Amy Wen says terrible impression.
Thanks for the support, honey. Appreciate it.
A request from your wife, Braden.
That's awesome.
Dwight says Outbreak.
Outbreak. I haven't even heard of that movie. I'll have to go
Outbreak.
home and look it up. Okay.
It sounds like it might be relevant to the current times.
It's too
guessing.
soon. Too soon, Dwight. Too soon. I'll check it out.
And there's my grandma. Hi, Grandma. Glad you're on. All right. So those are the movies we recommend. Next thing is top interesting news. There's news headlines, all over the place, and we wanted to tell you about a couple that we found interesting. All right, so I'll start us off, and got this one from my wife. She texted me this, but this also has to do with movies. It's just a coincidence, but movie theaters, because they can't bring people into the theater because they can't gather that many people, are actually going to be releasing movies for home viewing on demand that would normally have come out in the theater. So, for instance, you got Trolls World Tour that's supposed to be coming out soon. That is going to go straight to home release, and you can rent it for like $19.99 for 48 hours. And it's just I'm just bringing this one up because it's just so interesting how this virus is changing everything right now. This is just unprecedented that you would have probably a $20-30 million budget film,
Right.
just get a home release.
Right.
How is that going to affect the film industry? How's it going to affect the box office charts? It's just going to affect a lot. And that's just one small segment of like the entertainment industry. This is like affecting all kinds of things. But I just found that to be interesting. And hey, I love going to the movies, but I rarely have the opportunity. So I'm kind of into watching these movies at home. I think it's a good idea. What about you, Josh?
I just want to read. Shauna said there's this small virus called COVID-19 going around. I don't know if you've heard about it. So, Shauna, I see the sassiness. Keep it down there. But I'm going to do a local dive. So, Nico's Tavern. Somebody posted on the Facebook in Hampshire, the community network there, that they're putting a roll of toilet paper in every takeout order. So, that's my news update.
Yep.
You don't got to go buy a hamburger and maybe they'll give you some toilet paper.
Hey, that might not be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And hey, get some pizza, get some toilet paper.
Yeah.
Match made in heaven, honestly.
Oh, real. All right.
Do you have a meme you want to share about?
I'm going to save it for later.
Right.
I'm shifting it. I'm going to save it for later.
All right. Nobody has any interesting news to add? Hey, Jim Brown. Glad you could tune in. Nico's, yeah, that's funny. Very funny. Spider-Man. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta love Nico's. Yes, you do. I mean, just for the peanuts alone. All right. Top tearjerker. All right. So we've seen things, we've heard things during this time that, have moved us. And one of those things I would like to share, again, a thank you to my wife for sending this to me. If it weren't for her, I would have nothing. Not only on this live cast, but in general.
That was really sweet.
Here's the news line. Bob and Nancy Shellard celebrated their 67th wedding anniversary differently because of COVID-19.
Okay.
On March 14th, in Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Nancy Shellard looked out of the second-story window of her nursing home, waving and blowing kisses to Bob on their anniversary day, as Bob held a beautiful homemade sign which read, "I've loved you 67 years and still do. Happy anniversary." This is the first anniversary that Bob and Nancy have ever been apart, the couple's daughter Laura said. Before the ban, Bob came to visit her every day. Very touching. Very, very touching. This man, 67 years, standing outside. He's got his sign. He's got balloons, blowing kisses. Man, that's true love right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just happy to hear that they were able to have that special moment, even in spite of the circumstances. So that's my tearjerker.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have one, so
Josh doesn't have tears.
I don't feel tears. I've never cried in my life. I don't feel emotions. Mm-hmm. But that was a good one.
Anybody have a tearjerker to share? Chances. His.
He thinks you need
Oh, you know what?
He does.
Yeah. Enough on that.
Ray and Jim Brown are missing sports.
Yeah. I know. It's a hard one, guys. It's a hard one. We have a whole different type of March Madness going on.
Hook up the N64. Put on some Madden.
There
Get
you
your
go.
sports fix.
Mm-hmm. Get the old pigskin out and just whip it at
NBA Jam. Hey, don't you have, you guys have probably like recorded old games on VHS tapes, right? I mean, just put those in. It'll feel like you're watching sports.
Basically the same thing, right?
Isn't it like music? Like you listen to an album like, however many times, 10, 20 times. Like, can't you watch a
Everybody's
sports
leaving the
game?
live
Like, okay. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to Josh.
Yeah.
And he's going to go into just a little devotion, a little sharing from a faith perspective. And again, you guys are still welcome to say things in the comments. Back him up, ask questions, just say how you're feeling, and you might grab a Bible or pull the Bible up on your phone or something, and we're just going to get into that. So.
Yeah, students, if I have students out there listening right now, you can pull out your phone Bibles. You can use your phone for your Bible. This is not youth group. I'm not there to slap your hand, so you can do that, okay? But so this was a thing I saw on the internet this week. It says, what a year this week has been, right? What a year this week has been already. It's just things have been happening. It's been kind of crazy. But before we just kind of get started, turn in your Bibles, if you have it with you, to Romans chapter 12. I highlighted this yesterday, but we're going to read a few more verses today and just do a little bit deeper dive into it, okay? So Romans chapter 12, we're going to start with verse 9, okay? I'll give you a second, just kind of get there, then I'll read it. Romans chapter 12, verse 9, and I'm reading the NLT today, but it says this: don't just pretend to love others, really love them. Hate what is wrong, hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection. Take delight in honoring each other. Verse 11, never be lazy, but work hard. Serve the Lord enthusiastically. Rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble. Keep on praying. When God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality. I really believe that we're in historical moments right now, right? Years from now, your kids are going to look back and remember COVID-19 and the quarantine and all this kind of gone down now. Right. And so whatever you believe, I feel like there's kind of two sides of people that either feel like the government and people are way overreacting or not reacting seriously enough. I don't know what camp you kind of fall into, but I think whatever you believe, the reality is that this is where we're at right now. Things are shutting down. This is where the path is going and stuff. Quarantine seems like a very real possibility. Schools and restaurants are closed for the next couple weeks. And the future is just unknown. The future's unknown. We don't know what's going to happen, and that's hard. And that can be a little scary. My wife says this all the time, whether it's feeling a little sick or a little bit off or not sure what's going to happen, just the questions out there. She says this all the time. She said, I would just feel better just knowing, right? I would just feel better just knowing. Even if it's bad news, I just would like to know. This anticipation of what's happening is just hard, right? And this can be scary. So if I was really honest with you, I've even recognized fear in the last week creeping over me. And here's the crazy thing about that. I'm young. I'm good looking. Okay. All right. I don't suffer from a respiratory sickness. I'm not immune compromised. And I know Jesus Christ and the promises. I know all of these things. I'm in the clear as far as I'm not at that risk stage at all. But yet I have felt fear creeping in over me. And so I had that thought, and I heard another preacher say this, but I thought that was really... This thought is really profound. Having seen all of that, take a moment and imagine the fear of the secular world right now. Imagine the people that don't know Jesus, that don't have hope and confidence, that all they see are the news reports and the fear and what's going on. Imagine how they are feeling right now. They don't have a place to put, and so they're just freaking out, right? And fear in itself is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that God put that in us. Right? We have that sense of fear. It's a self-preservation feature that we kind of just follow the herd instinct to survive. My mother-in-law was at the grocery store this last week, and she was telling us that she went in there, and then she went in, and she wasn't really even planning to buy a few things, but she was looking for something, and it was all gone. This lady said, hey, do you want this instead? And she's like, I guess so. And she bought a bunch of stuff she didn't even go in there to buy, just because people were like... right, gathering stuff and stuff. She said she saw this lady walk in at Aldi's and literally pick up every single one of the different type of crackers and put them in her cart. Like, none of us are eating those crackers, okay? None of us care if it's a triangle or a circle. None of us are eating 20 boxes of crackers at home, right? But this kind of fear and herd instinct kind of jumps in. But I want to encourage you guys. Verse 12 says, rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble. Keep on praying. You guys at the moment of salvation had a transformative experience in your soul and your mind. You had a new mind, right? The renewal of your mind, a new body. And so I encourage you guys right now, as I have had to done a couple times, is remind myself who I am in Christ. That I am not going to follow the fear, and that I have put my hope in Jesus Christ, right? And so I just have two other quick points that I just want to, I came up with a little nifty title called this Hoarding to Helping and Helping to Hoping, okay? And so I think what might be helpful in helping us shift our minds and our attention is that instead of focusing on washing our hands, we remember that we are the church and we focus on being the hands of Jesus, okay? The hands and feet of Jesus. And how this looks really practically, verse 13, right there, Romans 12:9, verse 13 says, when God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality, right? And so my daughter, they've been learning this down in KOTR, right, Trish? They've been learning this lesson the last month about we share with God, we share with all God's people when they're in need, okay? And so Nora tells me this all the time when she wants something from me. Like, hey, Dad, we share with God's people, Bible class says that. Can I have some of your ice cream? Or, like she sells that to me all the time when she wants something from me, okay? But for real, though, this is a practical thing you guys can do. Count your bean stash, okay? I don't know why this is, but something in us, every time we go to Aldi, we buy like 2 or 3 cans of black beans. I don't know why. We don't eat 2 or 3 cans of black beans, but it's like we always buy them. And so when I was thinking about this, we have this stash of accidentally hoarded black beans in our house. And so there are people that are really being severely affected by this. Either if it's just because they haven't been able to work, or they're sick, or had to take time off to be home with their kids. And financially, this may be a real struggle. And so one way we can help is just by, if you have extra food, if you have extra in the pantry, you can bring it to the church. There's these orange buckets. The church is open from 9 to 4. Just drop it off in those orange buckets, and we will donate that. We'll put it right down there to the food pantry, because the food pantry is open and running. And if that's something you need, just call into the church, and you can set up a time, or send us an email at info@cotrag.org, and we'll get you set up there, okay? So you can count your bean stash. If you have extra food that you can donate, bring that in. Don't be a hoarder. Let's move to being a helper and a sharing. You can give monetary funds. When you give your tithe, that helps us keep the lights on and keep the church moving forward and stuff. But if you feel God calling you, and some of us are not being affected, like it's inconvenient. We're stuck at home. We can't go to school. Maybe we can still work remotely and stuff. But our financial status is not going to be affected. I would ask that you just pray and ask God, and if He would put it on your heart, maybe you give above and beyond your tithe, and you give with the idea that you're going to help somebody. And this doesn't necessarily have to be the church. Maybe there's somebody even in your neighborhood that you know is struggling. Maybe you have a neighbor or family or friend member right around you that you know is having a hard time. How can you intervene and be the feet and the hands, be the church to them in this moment of crisis for them? Right? And Braden said this in staff, and I thought this was really good. He said, I don't even know how much people are fearful right now as much as just processing. Like, we got so much thrown at us so quickly in the last week. Some of us are just still reeling. My wife is a internal processor. It takes her, she used to be by herself for hours at a time to just process and feel things. Me, I have to be around people. I have to spit it out. I don't know what I'm feeling till I say it, okay? But some of us are just still reeling and just like still confused and confounded. Even in the comments earlier, so many negative things of just, we are feeling down right now, right? And this is a quote that my wife sent me from Corrie ten Boom. It says, if you look at the world, you'll be distressed. If you look within, you'll be depressed. But if you look at Christ, you'll be at rest, which is Corrie ten Boom. But we have the hope. We have the answer. And so when you're thinking of your neighbors, when you're thinking of the people you maybe are interacting with, maybe through online format like this or whatever, I think I picked this up at a youth conference, is that be a hope dealer. Okay, be a hope dealer. You have the answer, and speak hope into people's lives. This is going to end. God will see you through. He has a plan for you. There are good things that are going to still happen even in the midst of hardship and trials, okay? You are able to be a hope dealer into your specific community. Do not add to the fear. Do not add to the spirit of panic that is trying to cling on to people. All of these ways, above in verse 13, it says again, always be eager to practice hospitality. All of these ways, I feel, are ways of being hospitable. We've been blessed by people This is just a quick story. When we first got married, my family was a little tight on financial just because of the extra costs that come with I was moving. They're helping me move from out of state to this state and paying off the wedding and stuff like that. But I remember this family called the Needs, and we had never met them, but out of the blue, they just offered their house for my family to stay here instead of having to go to a hotel. And there's plenty of room, big house. They were out on vacation, and they were hospitable to us without even being present. And that's always kind of stuck with me. Last practical thought about how we can be hope dealers and move from hoarding to helping is this. Maybe I've seen a lot of people doing shamrock hunts with people putting pictures in their windows or stuff like that, and their kids just going for walks and seeing those. Maybe you make some notes for your neighbors or have your kids make some notes. Maybe you sit down yourself, put pen to paper, and just, God, is there anybody I can be praying about? Hey, blah, blah, blah. I felt God asking me to pray for you. I took time to pray for you. This is what I felt. And send that in the mail. We're stuck home. We had a little extra time. How is God asking you? How could you be a helper in this time right now? And lastly, we're just moving to hope, right? Verse 12 talks about keeping our hope in Jesus. I was thinking about, I was listening to another guy that was talking about this time right now and bringing up the story of Peter walking on the water and how he got out of the boat. He was walking, but then he looked down and he was scared and he began to sink and he called out for Jesus, but Jesus came over and grabbed him and pulled him up. I thought it was really interesting in that time is that in that scenario, and this is Matthew chapter 14, if you want to read that later for yourself. Matthew chapter 14. In that scenario, though, Jesus doesn't just come in and stop the storm. He comes walking on the waves while the storm's crashing. They've been out there all night. They're really fearing for their lives. But Jesus meets him in the storm and walks with him. Jesus is going to meet you in the storm, no matter if whatever negative emotion you're feeling earlier, disheartened or despair or discouragement, or I can only think of D words right now. I don't know why, but there are other ones, right? And no matter what you're feeling, we have a hope in Jesus, and that's a good bet. That's a good bet, okay? That's, as you say, you can take it to the bank, okay? Jesus is going to be coming through. He's walking through with us right now. So that's just a really short devotional, just a few thoughts as we're just kind of, going through this time together and working through this together from hoarding to helping to hoping. I hope that blesses you. Before we kind of wrap up tonight, I just want to pray, and then I think Braden has a few announcements, just some things to keep in mind, and then we'll keep going, okay? So let's just pray. Wherever you're at, if you're with your family, I just encourage you to just grab one or two of them, grab them on the hand, put your hands on their heads, parents, or if you're with a loved one, whoever you're watching this with, just grab them and just let's pray together. Father, thank you, God, for the opportunity to come, even in a time when we're being discouraged from gathering, God, and even mandated not to gather, Father, that we can still meet in a platform like this. Thank you, God, when the world seems overwhelming and confusing, that you can still meet us in the chaos, Father. At the beginning of creation, you took chaos and put order to it. You took dissonance and put rhythm to it, Father. And you do the same with us right now. Lord, renew our minds. Remind us to put our hope in you, God, even when the world says that doesn't make sense. And help us to be people of beacons of hope to other people in our community and life. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Braden, we have a few announcements I think left, right?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. That was really encouraging. Let's take that to heart. Let's move from hoarding to helping to hoping. And let's really make a difference during this time. Mm-hmm. One thing I want to add is if you have a specific prayer request that you would like to share, go ahead and put that in the comments. And I know that we and your fellow church family will be praying with you about that. And along with that, be sure to check out our website page that includes our COVID-19 updates. Mm-hmm. You can find that through the app too. But we have set up a specific phone line that you can call at any time. Mm-hmm. We'll have a staff member on that phone. And if you have an emergency need that comes up in your life, whatever that may be, we would love to hear from you and help to meet that need and to pray with you. So you can find the number on the website. It's also in our last Facebook Live post.
Mm-hmm.
So the number's there as well. And of course, if you have a non-emergency need in your life, feel free to call the church number. And if we're here, we'll pick up. And if not, you can certainly leave a message. But we want to be here for you in any way that we can. And the only way that we can know how to be here for you is for you to let us know. So please feel free to reach out to us in those ways. You can also message us on Facebook. You can also you can text that number, and you can send an email to info@cotreg. So there's many ways. So don't let that stop you from reaching out. We want to be here for you during this time, for you and your family, and for our communities. Along with that announcement, you may have seen that we are moving our services for the next 2 weeks exclusively online.
Yep.
This is just because we want to respect the mandates and recommendations given to us by our denominational leaders, by our state and our federal government, and by the CDC. We don't want to gather people together that would be more than 10 in number. So we have decided to move our services exclusively online, and we're going to do our very best to make this a quality experience that you and your family or whoever you're with to just feel like you have been to church even though you haven't physically been to the church building. So tomorrow we're going to be releasing more details on how this is going to work.
Yep.
But just to fill you in, we are going to post our full service on our webpage. This will probably be available by Friday evening. Now, if you have a schedule that it would work better for you to view it on your own time, then that's going to allow you to do that. You could view it at any time. But if you have a schedule where you could tune into a Facebook watch party, we would really encourage you to do that so that you can stay connected to your church family, so that you can comment with one another, you can see what each other's saying, and it can feel more like you're actually connecting. But either way, we're going to have videos of worship, which for this week, as we're learning how to best do this, it's just going to be me with my acoustic guitar. So we'll worship together in our homes, and we'll do just like we do in a normal service. We're going to have announcements. We're going to have a message from Pastor Josh, part 2 of his Sabbath series, and then we're going to have offering. We're going to have prayer. All the elements that you would expect to see in a service, we are going to provide those for you so that you can do that in your home. Now, like I was saying, we're going to host 2 Facebook watch parties, and we plan one of those at 5 p.m. on Saturday, and we plan one of those at our normal 10 a.m. Sunday morning. And so we just wanted to offer 2 different times in case you may prefer to do it in the evening with your family before dinner on Saturday, or you may prefer to have breakfast on Sunday morning and then tune in. So you're going to see more details on that coming out tomorrow in an email and on Facebook. So anything
and
to
then
add to that?
also, we'll have this week. We will also have both this week and next week. We'll have kids sermons as well.
Yeah.
So the kids videos will be there.
Yeah. On that same page on the website, you're going to see a video for our K through 5th and a video for our toddlers, along with some discussion questions where you can just engage with them like they would in their classroom with their leaders. But you become their leaders now, and you can engage with them in those ways.
Trish says that she's going to be missing all the kids downstairs, but she's praying for you all. So, thanks, Trish, our awesome children's coordinator downstairs. She does an amazing job down there.
Yeah. Thanks, Trish. And then one thing to add to that is after this weekend, we would love to hear from you on what you thought. What was
Yeah.
good? What was good? What was working for you and your family? What wasn't working? What did we miss? Was there something that we missed, or what did you appreciate about what we did? Because we want to get better at this each and every week, and you'll definitely help us by giving us your feedback.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else on that?
That's it.
If there's any questions about that, feel free to comment. I'm going to move on to a second announcement.
Oh yeah.
We wanted to let you know because we've seen a few comments and heard a few things that Pastor Brian and Carmen are doing great. They're still on their vacation. They're still in Mexico, enjoying the beach, enjoying the sun, getting refreshed, and they are still coming back at their normally scheduled time. So let's see, the end of the month, Sunday, the end of the month is when you might see them joining us again. It'll probably still be digitally, but no need to worry or be concerned about them at all. They're doing well. They're healthy. They're enjoying themselves, and they're going to be back soon. And we look forward to that. So,
I just have one more about that. We've been fully in contact with Brian and Carmen as they've been away. It's not just like, hey, we're on the hammock and forget you guys.
No,
we've been fully. He called me. He was ready. Like I talked him down off the cliff because he was ready to cancel the rest of the time off and come in. And after we had a really long conversation and just going over everything, how we're approaching the situation, we felt comfortable being able to say, stay on vacation because we want you back rested and well to continue leading this church well. And so we just really want to respect. He doesn't get away a lot, and when he does, we try to protect that as much as we can. And so we felt really comfortable handling this and continuing moving the church forward and moving to the online services even while he still remains on vacation. So he is with us, though. He's been checking in constantly, and he is helping us lead and move this church through this process. So he's definitely still much involved.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. All right, the final announcement I have is that we'll be doing this again next week.
Yay!
All right, at 7 p.m. again. Yes. And we hope that you will tune in with us once again. It's been a great time. It's been great to hear from you guys in the comment section. I know it's not ideal, but hey, during this time, we've got to be creative. We got to figure out ways that we can connect that are just different. And hey, it might feel funny at first, but we'll get used to it. And we're just so glad that you were able to tune in. Feel free to share this and let people know that we're doing it again next week. And maybe we can have even more of our church family together with us. All right?
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to wrap up with a few shout-outs, and then we'll be out of here. All right, good. So I'd like to give a shout-out to delivery drivers because they are delivering our food whenever we need that Mexican food or we need that Chinese food that we just can't cook on our own. They are going out and they are delivering it. And so we appreciate you, delivery drivers.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out the Colemans. They've just really stepped up their Instagram and Facebook social media distancing game. I've seen videos of the kids doing this weird Irish jig. Chad swinging from like a blanket swing he put up in his basement. It's just been fun to connect, and all the rest of you guys that have been connecting with us online.
Hey, and shout out to the people that are putting shamrocks in their windows because, hey, there's very little to do with my kids at this age. You can take them out on a walk. They can look for those shamrocks, and I really appreciate that. So thank you to you shamrock people. Also, thank you to Breakfast for Dinner because what's better than eggs for breakfast? You have the bacon and the eggs. There's nothing better. Hey, it's good to have breakfast for dinner. You should try it. Breakfast for dinner, thank you. Yeah,
I'll tell you what's better is fish sticks, okay? I'm talking good old school fish sticks, air fryer. No. Oh my gosh. So shout out to Aldi fish sticks.
Scratch fish sticks. We're not doing a shout out to fish sticks, but we are doing a shout out to Googly Eyes because it gives your kids something to glue to that construction paper. So shout out to the Googly Eyes that we found at Family Dollar. Really appreciate you. Also, shout out to the Frozen soundtrack because the Frozen soundtrack is actually pretty good. And my kids want to listen to it all the time. They want to jump in the trampoline to it. They want to sing it. And hey, what can you ask for but just some music that you can enjoy with your kids? So shout out to the Frozen soundtrack. Any other shout outs?
I'm out, man.
All right. Well, here's a serious shout out. I want to give a shout out to all of our deacons in the church.
Yes. Our deacons are awesome. They're killing it.
You probably heard from a deacon who was just checking in with you to make sure that everyone is doing okay. That is our top priority right now. Is we want everyone in our church to be cared for and to have their needs met.
Yes.
And so we just had our deacons call our lists of people to just check in and just to see how you're doing. So thank you to the deacons for doing that. You guys are doing a fabulous job, and we really appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, that is a wrap for Wednesday Night Live.
Before we finish, anything in the comments?
And a shout out to Amanda.
Yeah, shout out to Amanda.
for moderating
over
this
there.
This is fun. No, I think we're good.
Okay,
We're good.
that's awesome.
Kids are amazing. Yep.
All right.
Very good.
Really appreciate everybody. Shout out to all of you. We are out.
See you guys. Bye.